drain?
on
Yeah,
Teal,
they got
on
his
Teal
stuff
Street.
to
I was
drain.
thinking that they were gonna put arms there because they went out there and did some electrical work. Or there's something coming out of the ground, but, okay, I getcha.
And what difference would it make, 'cause there's not a flagger there any other day?
I don't, it's probably just a requirement with the railroad, if a project's getting done, they need it.
If the road is closed anyway, who are they flagging?
Sarah?
Well, yeah,
Ivan?
you can't trust people from that neighborhood.
You rebel, you. Oh, my goodness.
Pretty dicey street you two live on, I
I
tell you.
know, right?
New business number one is the community center daycare, design proposal. They're getting to the point, we had an EDA meeting the other day, and they're getting to the point now where they are gonna need some money to move forward with any type of planning. Included in your packet is the email from Ben, which kind of explains it, but it's the next step we're at. And $10,000 to $15,000 is what they're looking at for this design concept. And they're basically coming to us to find it. Personally, I think we need to find it. I mean, why did we go this far with the project if we're gonna dead-end it over $10,000?
It's dead in the water if we don't.
If we don't, it's done.
Yep.
We went as far as we can go if we don't do something. Clinton and I did discuss a little bit. We do have roughly $60,000 left in that
Rescue plan?
rescue plan money. If that's where we wanna look at getting it from. Interested in your guys' feedback.
Let's keep moving forward.
So is it
Yeah.
basically they just need the money to do the plan?
It's to do the plan, it's all kinds of
The
different
study, the
site
plans,
study,
yeah.
So it's not just writing plans, there's more things to it than just
Yeah.
giving us a footprint of what
Yes.
it's gonna look like, okay.
And I mean, as we develop into this farther, I mean, obviously, there's gonna be a lot of time and money that's gonna go into this. We're obviously looking at a ton of grant options, which is ultimately what we're hoping for to fund this thing, but
And that money that that 60,000, that was kind of slated for that building, but because it came in at a,
we got about $140,000 last year of American Rescue Plan dollars. We didn't really have an exact way how we were gonna spend it, so we kind of been using it on emergency
Rain
needs.
estimate.
We are using it on that Teal Street project.
Yep.
We are using it on our portion for the park trail.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm suggesting we use it for this.
yeah. Probably a good
Thankfully, we
idea.
have the money, otherwise we
Right.
gotta be coming up with it out of the budget
Right.
somewhere else, so I guess luckily we have the money, and it's probably a nice place to put it, I don't know. Andrea, from an accounting aspect, is that okay or not, or?
I mean, the money's sitting there in that fund, so it's the council's decision.
Right.
On how you want to spend it.
And I think that's a low number.
Yeah,
I think they're giving us a deal on that, because Jake is involved.
Yeah,
I'd move that we move forward with this.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0.
I will inform Ben tomorrow and I'll let Jake
Perfect.
know, okay?
What's the time frame on that, do you think?
Uh,
3 months, 6 months?
I don't know, is it on there? I
I
can't
didn't
remember.
see it in the, it might be.
There's a lot of steps to it, I guess, I don't know that he told us an exact time frame.
I didn't see
They
it.
would like to come in and meet with the council as part of it, to get
Anytime,
our input.
anytime.
That's a good plan. Yeah, I didn't see anything on time frame, but just, but, so we get an idea. So I'm not absent when he comes.
Do you know Ben at all?
No, I know who Ben, I know Jake. Jake Sonic is a local boy.
Yeah, he is, so's Ben. He's been involved with it, he's pretty knowledgeable on
Yeah,
everything
Jake
so
is a-
far, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke
Yeah.
with,
I
I
think
spoke
that's
with
a
Ben
great-
quite a bit on Friday.
Yeah.
New business number 2, we are gonna review a portion of the budget.
Okay, so a portion of our general fund budget we are gonna look at tonight. We will look at the council, administrator, and then, this building and accounting, basically, is what we're gonna look at. Just to give you a quick background here, we have through September, the end of September, to set our preliminary tax levy in our general fund. So what we've been doing the last few years is we take each council meeting during the summer, we take a little bit of the budget and look at it individually. Some of the increases you're gonna see are insurance and health insurance, workers' comp insurance, things like that. We always generally overshoot those numbers now, because we will know more in October or November what those rates will be. So we always kinda shoot high for the insurance numbers, so just so you know that. The city council, that's that top box of the first page, really the only increase in there was put some more money in for training. If you would like to attend more meetings and training, then I'm gonna put some money in the budget for that. Administrator budget, other than the insurance and the, compensation study that you had approved a couple weeks ago, there's really no major changes in that. If you look at the bottom of the first page, the elections, there's gonna obviously be a significant increase in that, because we have the U.S. Senator, we have presidential, and then we have regular elections, in 2024. And I don't know, Andrea, should we explain a little bit how the county bills us for, they store and, run it all and stuff, and then we get a bill, and we just take it right out of that line item. And then part of the wages for the election judges as well comes out of there. On the next page, accounting, there's one box on that page. If you go about halfway down, you see that line item that says recycling charges? That is now at 0, because Waste Management is now charging for recycling directly. So we don't have that monthly invoice anymore from them. And then if you look at the next line down, professional services, we did put $4,200 in there for the David Drown and Associates. They're gonna do the continued maintenance on our compensation and job descriptions over the next few years, so we put money in for that. And then Andrea, and I should say Andrea and Sarah, you guys have both done quite a bit of research on finding electronic filing system, like a scanning, documentation, to get rid of all these paper copies of things we have here. We're looking at more electronic filing. And that helps also with accounts payable. Department heads can look at their invoice and code it electronically and do it that way. So there's $25,000 or so in for that. Was it 25 or 20?
25.
I gave you actually like 15.
15, yeah.
Okay. I'll change that.
And that's just for the first year, because there's the one-time setup cost, so that will decrease, then you'll just have your annual cost moving forward.
Yes. And then the following line, it says auditing services. That's a line item where we pay for our annual audit. We are also going to update our long-term plan, our 5-year long-term plan next year. So we put some money in that line item to cover that cost as well. Any questions?
If we're gonna pursue this, childcare and, community center, is 15,000 in our engineering fees, is that adequate, or should we be looking somewhere else to put a few more dollars in that?
I was actually going to suggest in a page or two.
Okay.
I was gonna talk about it there.
Okay.
That's all right.
I mean, if this thing keeps moving forward, do we need to just make a whole new kinda?
A box for them.
Yeah, 'cause it's gonna be,
Perhaps, or I think, Ivan, you talked to me a little while back about maybe creating a different fund.
yeah, like a fund, I would say, because I mean, this thing's gonna be,
Are you talking the senior center?
yeah.
You would have to create an
Yeah.
enterprise fund,
Yeah.
because it would be based on services, so it would be
Sure.
The next page, really, there were no significant differences on this next page. The general government building, that basically is City Hall. Office supplies, operating supplies, utility bill, all those sorts of things. There really there are no changes in that, except for some insurance increases. And I was gonna point out one other item, I should have done this earlier. You look at the very first column, it says 2022 actual. At our next council meeting, when we have the audit report, we'll be able to put 2022 numbers in that column, so it'll be easier to kinda watch this as we go over the next budgets here over the next few months.
That last page, unallocated,
Yep.
What is that?
The unallocated budget is the first two lines there, that is the pay for the Park Road Plaza board members. That's their monthly pay, comes out of those lines. Professional services, there's a program that the nursing home has with the state where if the nursing home rents the building from the city, since it's city-owned, then they get reimbursed from the state for the rent that was paid. 3-4 years old, that program maybe. That's what that big line item is there, that $106,000. It's a revenue and an expense that balances out each year. Miscellaneous, there's money for property taxes that the city owes for various properties that we have. And then, the Janesville Matters, we commit $5,000 to the group each year for work that they do within the right-of-way and parks and et cetera. That money is in that line item.
Is that adequate for them? I'm wondering,
I think so.
do they spend it all, or?
Yeah, they spend it all.
Yeah,
That's like the flowers and,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Do they need extra? I mean, they're doing a great job.
They do have some money of their own yet, too.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that they weren't feel neglected.
And then, Jim, you mentioned this a couple minutes ago, I was gonna ask the council if we did commit any money to the community center, or researching, or doing whatever, do we put it in this box, the unallocated box? But maybe let's look more into creating a separate fund.
I like the idea of creating a new fund like Ivan
Yeah.
had suggested. I really think that's a better spot, easier tracking,
Yep.
well, it'd be nice to know, 'cause as this thing moves forward, we're gonna
Right.
have to,
right. I'd like a separate fund, and whether it's in here, or if it's in parks, or if it's in streets, or wherever you decide it wants to go.
Yeah, and if any grant revenue comes in, you know, like you were talking
Gotta
about,
have
we
a
can
spot
put
to
it right
put
in
it.
that
it
fund.
can go directly in
And
there.
we,
and-
yeah, we've got a source for tracking that.
Yep, exactly.
No, I like that idea. Can we have that suggestion next month, or next meeting, for what to do with it?
Maybe that or the meeting after.
Okay.
That's a Tom question, I think.
Okay.
I would
He'll
feel.
be here next week.
Yeah,
We can ask him. Or 2 weeks from now.
yeah, 2
Okay.
weeks, yep. So that's, with that, our next city council meeting, July 24th, we're scheduled to have, Dave Ullman will be here, and we'll be reviewing his proposed police department budget that night. That's our next one to discuss. Any questions, anybody?
I would, someplace down the road here, I'd like to have a discussion with the council members regarding the possibility of having an increased sales tax to help generate money for this new community center. I'm not sure it's going to generate a substantial amount in my head, but I'd like to at least look at that option.
Can I, just point out that with this most recent legislative session, there were a couple bills that were passed that I believe limit the type of sales tax you can do, or even if cities are allowed to create new sales tax revenue in the next year. I'll look into that, though.
Okay.
It might only be transportation related, or it might, I don't know, so I'll look into that.
And they have to, agree to it.
Yeah, it goes on the
We
state,
can't simply initiate it, it has to go to the legislature.
the legislature has to approve it, that's correct, yep.
But
But I think Ivan's just talking about getting the ball rolling to see if it's even
Yeah,
feasible.
I just want to explore that option and see where it goes.
I thought about that as a 0.5%, I think it'd be about $25,000 to $30,000 a year or more.
Yeah.
For Janesville alone. That's just a rough figure of what I thought the businesses would do for, and
I didn't get that far into my thinking.
I think it is too, but I think,
10 times that.
yeah, yeah. Which would be a nice number.
Motion to adjourn then, unless anybody else has anything.
And second, I don't want to stay here all night.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.